so since I was 40, when I turned 40, I told myself I was going to be in the best shape of my life. And whatever that looked like, I didn't realize that I was going to get divorced during that process, but that's what happened. And it worked out in my favor. I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I'm no longer called a piece of
Oh my gosh.
any
Yeah.
day of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so I needed that time to heal, to look in the mirror and really know that I wasn't a piece of,
Yes.
I needed to be able to look at myself and say, Holly, I love you. Well, welcome back to the Rocking Midlife podcast. And I have a fabulous guest today who I know you're just going to love. Holly is joining us all the way from Florida. So welcome, Holly Odom. Hi, thanks for having me. It's early there for you. It's like 5 o'clock in the afternoon or in the evening here, and it's around 9 a.m. for you, right?
It sure is. And I'm a day ahead. So I can tell you your future looks bright. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Fantastic. All right, everybody. So before we dive on in, Holly has got some amazing experiences that she's going to be sharing with you. But one in particular we're going to be talking about is idea to empire, the power of midlife reinvention, because Holly is someone who took an idea and turned it into something truly impacting. So really briefly, Holly is a freelance writer, an author, an entrepreneur, and an environmentalist. Her journey into entrepreneurship began out of necessity, leading her to create PRMF Luxury Cleaning. And she is passionate about inspiring others to turn side hustles into successful ventures while making a positive impact. So, Holly, welcome again. We'd just love to hear your story. And how did you end up here speaking to midlife women about making an impact?
Well, I'm sure you would agree that we need more conversations about women making impact. And at this point of my life, and I've heard in so many different other women's lives that there's just this turning point that either you're tired of everything and everyone, and you just decide to say, you know what, I'm done. I'm going to move forward. I'm going to create something else. And that's really essentially what I did. PRMF and PRMF Luxury Cleaning is a poem. It stands for pause, reflect, move forward. Those 4 words changed my life. It's really become over the last 9 years a daily practice. And I believe you can really apply that poem to just about anything, a text message, whether you should go through the yellow light or you shouldn't go through the yellow light when
Yes.
you're driving, right? Or you should send the email or you shouldn't send the email, or maybe you should leave your spouse. And that's really what it was about.
Yeah.
That's really what it was about. I'd stay in an environment that just wasn't good for me
Mm-hmm.
anymore. And I decided to move forward. And it wasn't exactly what I thought that it was going to look like. That's just life, right? And so I just kind of, I want to say improved it, but it's really what really happened. I left with $100 in my wallet from a marriage, my high school prom date,
Oh, gosh.
and started over.
So how many
I
years have
have,
you been married? Because that's pretty huge.
we were married 19 years.
Wow.
We have 4 now adult children, and we're
Mm.
grandparents. And, you know, life has a funny way of happening, whether you want it to or not.
Yeah.
Right. And it's not what happens, it's how you deal with what happens. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. It wasn't easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
However, it was necessary for me to move forward because I really desired to be the woman that decided to stand up and speak up and never give up.
Mm.
Trying to find the words of how it is that I actually did it is kind of, I mean, I'm a freelance writer, I'm a poet, I'm a comedic poet. Running out of words isn't something that I usually do.
Yeah.
However, the right word to describe how I feel right now at this point of my life is I am grateful.
Oh, lovely. Yes.
I'm grateful for everything and experience that I've had in my life. And even through the divorce, even through the parental alienation that I experienced for 339 days
Gosh.
when
Yep.
two of my children were minors. Uh, and unfortunately, it's had a lasting effect into their relationship with me, even now as adults. And so, as a wise grandparent, I could approach it two different ways. I could text them till they block me, or
Or
I could give them the space that they need to grow and make their choices and let them know that I'm here when they're ready. And so that's been my practice for personal development. And with all of the personal development, Kat, my business grew naturally.
mm,
So I chosen to be single for over 2.5 years now. And I tell you, I'm so glad that I took this pause
yeah.
in my life so
Yeah.
I can reflect on the woman that I'm ready to be, right? I mean, even though I'm going to be 50 at the end of the year, okay, I really feel like I'm just getting started.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I
And
know that feeling, and I'm a
oh,
decade ahead of you too. I'm turning 60 in October,
oh,
and I feel exactly the same. Like I'm just getting
well,
started.
that's wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that with me because, like, I'm the healthiest version of myself physically, mentally, spiritually. And I really can't wait to see what happens next.
Oh, 50s are great. It's going to rock. You're just going to absolutely love it.
Yes, yes. And I told you that, you have the Eiffel Tower in your
Mm-hmm.
background. With my cleaning business, I've been able to afford some dream vacations for myself,
Oh,
despite leaving with $100 in my wallet. I was able to create financial freedom. And as a stay-at-home parent with 4 children and taking care of a house and taking care of my parents the best that I could, and a spouse who really didn't appreciate anything that I did, to be
mm,
completely honest. Maybe he did, but he certainly never told me, right? So now at this point of my life, people are grateful that I do all their laundry, that I do protein shake meal prep, that when I pet sit while my clients are on vacation, I organize every single nook and cranny of their home and they come home because what does it feel like when you come home from vacation? You don't want to clean your flipping house. I provide a certain concierge style service for my
mm,
clients. I am very fortunate in my life that I'm able to pick and choose who it is that I choose to work with at this stage of the game. This is
mhm.
my second cleaning business. In my 30s, I had 309 clients, and my spouse was my business partner. My business partner was not interested in my business mind. And so we stayed with the cleaning company. The rate for 5 years was never increased. If you're looking at going into the uh, janitorial industry as a side hustle or a full-time thing, it's imperative that you raise your rates strategically.
Mhm.
Don't wait 5 years to raise your rates because here's the thing. We're doing physical labor in the janitorial industry. People pay me to exercise. That's how I look at my
Yeah.
job. It depends upon what my clients need. Okay. Maybe
Yes.
I'm there pet sitting and I'm unable to stay there during the week, or I'm there 3 times a week, twice a week. And when someone calls my clients I'm on call 24
Mhm.
hours a day for, and they wonder where on my birthday, where their green cashmere sweater is because they're going to Colorado, I know where it is.
Oh,
If
wow.
I had 309 clients, I wouldn't be able to tell that man where his sweater was. Okay.
Exactly. Yes.
I managed these people's houses. I order groceries. I tell them what they need for their home. I tell them that, oh, okay, well, we need a new rug for the back because the dogs messed it up. Or this drainer would be much better for you and would cause less mildew. Let's get this one instead. All I got to do is send them links and they get it. And the next week I go or the next time I'm there, it's there for me and
Yeah.
I'm better to care for their home. I mean, imagine what that would feel like if you just had someone there that was doing all these things for you so you can continue your podcast. You could
Mhm.
continue growing your business and not worried about the details.
That would be amazing. So basically, you've gone from running a cleaning business to starting something like you said that's more like a life concierge type thing, isn't it? Managing homes. That's
Meal prep.
cool.
I do protein shake meal prep.
Now you got to explain what
Yep.
that is.
Okay, so since I was 40, when I turned 40, I told myself I was going to be in the best shape of my life, and whatever that looked like. I didn't realize that I was going to get divorced during that process, but That's what happened. And it worked out in my favor. I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I'm no longer called a piece of
Oh my gosh.
any
Yeah.
day of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so I needed that time to heal, to look in the mirror and really know that I wasn't a piece of,
Yes.
I needed to be able to look at myself and say, Holly, I love you. I mean, Kat, is it something that you tell yourself every day? Maybe you have a significant other. Maybe your listeners don't have a significant other. And it's quite possible, like you said, in the midlife crisis type thing. So
Mhm.
it's not a crisis. It's really an awakening.
It is.
In my experience, it was an awakening. And I'm not experiencing what other women my age are experiencing. And what I mean by that is I had a complete hysterectomy in my mid 30s. So my life changed in my 30s, and I didn't get the support from my spouse when I was building the business, when I was trying to like pull myself back and figure out who I was without even having all my body parts, right? To keep my brain. I mean, it was a lot. And not having a supportive, significant other to say, hey, you're doing great. I'm so proud of you. It's debilitating.
Yes. You're talking to someone who had a hysterectomy at 38 here. And so I know what a significant life-changing surgery it is. It's massive. And I was
That's right.
I have a supportive husband, and my mother actually flew over from Australia to be with me for the first
Oh,
few weeks
wonderful.
to because it's massive. It's a massive surgery mentally and emotionally and physically, especially. And so for you to go through something like that and not have someone support you and
Yeah, he did. Oh, he did. He went back to the doctor and asked her if she could put everything back in me.
oh my gosh.
That was his support.
Wow.
And so, like, not to like, look, he made his decisions. He
Mhm.
was having a human experience, and he's still having a human experience. And I hope he's happy.
Yeah.
God, I really hope he's happy. And it took me a long time to say that because here's the thing: through all of everything, hate is too much to bear. It's too
Mhm.
big of a burden to carry on these shoulders of mine. I'd rather carry my grandson on my shoulders now.
Mhm.
I don't want to carry the hate because look, no matter what, we still have children together. If
Yes.
I hate him, I hate half of them, you know, because they're half him,
Yeah.
right? So I've had to really pause and
Yes.
reflect upon that. Like, you did what you did, you said what you said, I did what I did, I said what I said, and I'm a better person because of it.
Thank you for being so vulnerable and sharing these very real things in your life. And what I really appreciated about it is that life isn't just, well, hey, well, we got separated, we got divorced. That was a bit of a bummer, but wow, look at this amazing business I have now, and life is hunky dory. And because life's just not like that. All of us have journeys, all of us have challenges to be dealing
Oh,
with things like parental alienation and then financial instability, not to mention the who the heck am I now after coming out of a 19-year marriage. That all takes
mhm,
courage, and it all
thank
takes
you.
choice, doesn't it, to choose to then go, well, at the end
Yeah.
of all this, I'm going to choose to be positive, and I'm going to choose to speak well of this person. I'm going to choose to keep a different outlook. And I think that's powerful. Was that something you chose overnight to do, though, or was that something that you had to learn and train yourself to be like?
I had to reprogram and
Yeah.
condition myself to grow forward because here's the thing. I believe that my future is much brighter than my past.
Yes. Love.
And everything that I've done in my past has led me here, good, bad, indifferent. Uh, and I made a lot of mistakes along the way. And I made a lot of mistakes in my business. However, that's why I have an online program that people can take that if you're considering leaving your spouse for one reason or another, and you're really not sure what to do what you know how to do best. If
Yes.
you've been taking care of a house, take care of somebody else's house because here's the thing, not all of this, okay? Most of this I have purchased from one way or another,
Mhm.
but a lot of it was given to me by my wealthy clients. I got a whole new wardrobe from my clients,
Wow.
all new shoes,
Yes.
right? Because here's the thing, it's a different mindset when you start caring for millionaires. I have an article that I'm writing for Business Insider about how much I'm actually getting paid to iron for people. And it's not like I'm bragging type of thing. The reason I'm sharing it in such a way, Business Insider has 20 million readers per month. Okay.
Mhm.
And you have people listening to these podcasts because they're looking for answers.
Yes.
You need answers, and people are telling you the truth. Well, do you know what the side effect of authenticity is?
No, love to know.
The truth just falls out of my mouth.
Yes.
And it's not an easy path to walk
Yeah.
at first, because people ask you questions and oh, how are you? Oh, I'm great. I mean, if you continue to tell everybody everything's okay, guess what? One point, you are going to break.
Yes. Oh,
And
that's so true. Yes.
you're going to break. And if it hasn't happened, it's going to happen. And you better hope that you listen to this podcast, because these are like life survival skills, right?
Mhm.
I was not sure. Well, how do you survive with $100 in your wallet? Well, guess what? You don't look back. You are your only option. There is no backup plan. So when people ask, when they say, well, how is it that you're charging what you're charging for these people? I actually had somebody say to me, how do you convince somebody to pay you that amount of money? First of all, there's no convincing. My price
Mhm.
is my price.
Yeah.
And people aren't paying me to clean their house. Okay. They're paying me for the feeling that they get when they walk in, and they don't have to do nothing because they've already been taking care of their own business and micromanaging and emotionally managing all of their employees. They don't have time to meal prep. They don't have time. That's why they hire me to do that. And you were asking about, what does meal prep look like? So it's protein shake meal prep that I do for my clients. Okay.
Yeah.
So would you agree or disagree that if you give your body what it needs, it's going to succeed?
Oh, absolutely.
So in my 40s, I learned about protein shakes and how to blend certain things like
Mhm.
spinach and banana go really well together with almond milk. It's important you add certain ingredients. Like I'm adding my protein powder. I'm adding my collagen. I'm adding fiber. I'm adding all these things, putting them in these reusable plastic bags, freezing them, taking them out when I need them. And my clients were like, what is that? And I'm like, oh, it's my protein drink. Would you like to try? Yes, I would. Pour the drink. Wow. And then I say, would you like me to do that for you while I'm here too?
Love it. Love it.
They, you're going to do that for me? Yes. Every week, she orders what I need to have her order,
Yes.
and I prepare it for her. And she's set up for success for work. So, because what happens when you give your body what it needs to succeed? Not only does it succeed, but it excels at whatever it is that you're trying to do, whether you're trying to, balance your books, or you're trying to balance everybody coming at you, telling you one thing about this job and that job. And then when you come home, you're like, it's supposed to be your sanctuary. You're supposed to love to walk in the door. Can
Yes.
you imagine what that feels like, having all of that done for you?
Oh,
What would
that's
you pay for that?
amazing. I wish I could have you come and do that for me. Boy, that sounds
And here's the
good.
thing: I've traveled around the country. I set people up on quarterly cleanings.
Yeah.
So if I need to fly to New Hampshire and help people stay accountable for their house, because if your house is in chaos, guess what? So is your mind. And help people create these healthy, thriving spaces to grow in, not just personally, but business. And they pay me in advance. And when I receive gratuities, one digit underneath $1,000 US, I don't take that lightly.
Goodness me.
Okay. And so it is possible. So if you've never looked at the janitorial industry, I'm telling you, it can be done. I'm not bragging about making $88,000 like I did last year,
Gosh.
but I'm one person and I work part-time and I'm making $88,000 a year. Isn't that something that maybe you should pay attention to?
But I just love how it's something like you said that a woman who finds herself at midlife going, oh my gosh, I'm financially insecure. What do I do? What do I know? Like you said, it's something that she probably knows. It's a starting point that she can build something on. When you first started, I know this is really basic, but how did you get your first client? How did you get started from divorced and broke to now getting these amazing tips and that kind of income and that kind of, you've obviously got a reputation now for being wonderful at what you do. What was the starting point?
Networking.
Yeah, right.
Networking. And I would go shake people's hands. When I started, I remember I told you I had my first cleaning business. I started it in my 30s because I was a stay-at-home parent. My spouse was not able to financially take care of us anymore for one reason or another. And I resented owning a cleaning business after owning it, like really owning it inside, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Not on paper, but just really like, this is my business, I decided to grow it. So because I had made such a name for myself in the first business, and the reason why I walked away from the first business was because I found out that it was no longer in my name. I was the president, and then I wasn't anymore.
Oh my God.
Well, what do? You can cry about it, or you can do something about it. So I decided to go back to cleaning, charge a basic rate because I needed to relearn again. Needed to relearn. I'd been out of it for a bit, and then I started networking again, and I started putting on Facebook, I'm cleaning, and here's the thing, because I've done all kinds of different business classes, branding, learning about how to position myself. Once I started, it just kept going. And then, there was well, where did you get your pricing from? Is one of the questions. I got my pricing from my bills. My bills were telling me I needed more money, so I need to make more money. So I started charging a premium rate.
Yes.
And so this past January, I added the title house manager. Why? Because I wanted a raise, and I got a 50% raise.
Goodness. Wow. I love it.
And I am grateful.
Yeah.
I am not hateful. And if you're going through something right now, ladies, gentlemen, whoever happens to be listening to this podcast, you must keep going. And you can follow me. You can Google, pause, reflect, move forward, and you can see that I'm everything that I say that I am. And so as we continue to move forward in life, I encourage you, your listeners, to find something, no matter what it is, that's positive. If it's going to the gym, if it's going to the beach, if it's doing community service, if it's going to the hospital and giving back, I'm telling you that it will bless you like this, something you can never imagine.
Yeah.
And I don't take it for granted. And, as I aged in the divorce, people chose sides, right? Who believes who and what, right? I used to want everybody to like me. Now when I walk into a room, I wonder if I like them. So it's shifted. And once that shift happens in your life, hold on. You better hold on, because you're going to go for a ride. You're going to go for a ride, and the downhill, and it happens, but it doesn't last forever. And, if I can offer any encouraging words, like other than pause, reflect, move forward, is your current situation isn't your final destination.
Yes. Yes. I was going to say exactly the same thing.
Well, we're twins, obviously. So
Obviously. It's funny because you've already kind of dived straight on in there, but I was going to ask you what would be a really profound takeaway that you would want to leave with the people listening. And I think you've kind of already nailed that. But I think some of the things that you've shared about choosing how you speak, choosing how you feel, even though you've been through hell, I just think that is so powerful, because it's so easy just to get caught up with the feelings, isn't it? And get stuck in that moment and just spiral from there and become one of those bitter divorcees that you see parodied on TV. And yet you've taken a horrible...
And in Facebook groups.
Yeah.
In Facebook group. I mean, and I'm not going to say that I was nice all the time.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that. I would be lying. Okay. I've not been nice. I've been uh, probably every name in the book during
Well,
that
I
process.
think,
But
I
you
think
know
you've got to
what?
go through it, don't you? Because I mean, the reality is it has been hell. You have been treated badly. That person is being nasty. But there comes a point where you got to
Mm.
choose, but am I going to stay in that place? Isn't it? And, or it's time to start growing. And did you find
Well, right.
like a moment that was a light bulb moment, or is that something that started to change for you?
It was a light bulb moment. And it's really that you can do it. Just something simple. You know, you can do it, whatever that it may be. That if you're thinking that you need to leave, or you're thinking that you need to stay a little bit longer and try something new, you do it. You do it. But once you do whatever it is that you're pondering about doing, and you find out that it's not working, you need to do something else, because insanity is a real thing. And the
Yeah.
definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again,
Mhm.
expecting a different result. Don't wait 19 years like I did. And if you did, and if you waited longer than 25 years, reach out to me. Or you can reach out on me at any time, whether you decided to move forward, you heard this message and you were like, hey, you know what? I just want to follow you because I'm not interested in cleaning anybody's house, but I need your energy. And I really believe that that's what a lot of people, when they hire me for the energy that I bring to their house, because they know that I'm going to sweep in and be happy.
I'm so grateful for you coming on. And I know that people listening in are going to be really encouraged. And I think the word there is courage, that, wow, I can actually potentially be at rock bottom, but, you know, she was able to get through it and change not only her finances, but her heart and her attitude and her outlook and her energy and her body, and they can too. Well, everybody, make sure that you check out all the information in the show notes, whether you're watching this on YouTube or tuning in on whatever platform. You'll find Holly's contact details there. So make sure you pop over, follow her online, jump on her newsletter, get in her world. And I know that Holly's energy will just really encourage you, particularly if you are at midlife and starting over. So again, Holly, thank you so much for being with us today. And for everybody else,
Thank
we will
you.
see you next time on the Rocking Midlife podcast.